Assalamu alaikum everyone. Starting with the name of Allah who is most merciful and magnificent. Welcome to our webinar, a roadmap towards Erasmus Mundus scholarship. This is Noor Fatma from Jhalwan Medical College, Khuzdar, volunteer at SBS, and I'm thrilled to be your host for today's enlightening webinar. Today's webinar is being held by Scholar Bridge Society. Our speaker for today's webinar is Ms. 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐬 𝐒𝐜𝐿. She is graduate from 𝐶OMSAT in Physics and Erasmus Mundus Scholar in Quantum Technologies and Engineering, focused on advancing in quantum computing and cryptography and pursuing masters at University of Burgundy, France. We are honored to have her today with us. Before embarking on the journey of knowledge, a moment for housekeeping. Kindly ensure your cameras are off and microphones are muted. To minimize disruption and in case of any queries, feel free to raise your hand or type the question in WhatsApp group and we'll address them later. Now, without any further delay, let's start the webinar. Over to you, Ms. 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐬 𝐒𝐜𝐿. You may proceed, ma'am.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all would be doing great. Uh, Thank you, Noor Fatma. Please confirm me if I am audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you to Scholar Bridge Society and their team for hosting me and letting me allow to share my insights about Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So, I'm wasting time, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so please let me know if my slides are appearing.
Yes, ma'am, your slides are appearing.
Okay, great. So let's formally start. Okay, hello everyone. Uh, this is your host Aisha Jamshed, and today, in today's webinar, I'm going to give insights about Erasmus Mundus scholarship as an Erasmus Mundus scholar. So, about myself, I got graduated in from ComSets with Bachelor's of Science in Physics in January 2024, and my CGPA was 3.69 by 4, and with this, I was honored to have been uh, being the gold medalist of my batch. And during my bachelor's final year project, I worked about quantum cryptography. And particularly, I worked on device independent quantum key distribution. And right after my graduation in January 2024, I got accepted into quantum program of Erasmus Mundus scholarship in March 2024. Quantum is actually masters in quantum technologies and engineering. So currently I am at the University of Bourgogne, France, pursuing my first semester. And in the second semester, I will be going to RPTU University situated in Germany. And for the third semester, I will be moving to Denmark at Aarhus University. And then I would be doing my master's thesis wheresoever I want to. So these three countries are collaborating for Quantum. So this was a short introduction about me. Now I would start formally about Erasmus Mundus scholarship and about related to queries, and the students may have questions. So as I mentioned by the host, either you can post your questions in their WhatsApp group, or you can raise hand, and at the end we will conduct a question answer sessions, and we will unmute your mic. You can tell your questions there, or you can simply write them in the chat. So, what actually the Erasmus Mundus scholarship is, and who present this? So Erasmus Mundus scholarship is actually a giant is for giant master's degree program that are funded by the European Union. Here, the joint master's degree program means that you don't get your degree only in a single country or only in one university. These are actually the joint master's degree programs. Joint master's degree programs means that you spend your one semester in one country, other semester in other country, and usually for each and every program there are 3 to 4 different universities collaborating, and those 3 to 4 countries are universities are situated in different countries, and it's the requirement for every master's program that you had at least 2 international mobilities. Means that you had to go at least to 2 different countries to complete your masters. And see, it is as I discussed, you have to go to different countries, so it allows you mobility across different countries. And with this, it combines Erasmus Mundus scholarship combines the academic excellence with international exposure. When you go to different universities, you go to different countries, you just change. You face different international exposure. That is really really important, and important in a sense that it is really effective in your personal growth and your professional development. And one good thing about Erasmus Mundus scholarship is that there are no restrictions about the nationality that those nationals can apply or these nationals can apply. This scholarship is open to the worldwide, and this scholarship is only for the master's programs, not for the bachelor's or PhD. So this was a short introduction about Erasmus Mundus scholarship. Now we will discuss in detail about the application process and eligibility criteria. So before discussing the application process, one thing that you guys should keep in mind is that what I will discuss, it would be a journal process. Erasmus Mundus scholarship, there are like more than 200 different programs, and their application process could be slightly different from one another. I will discuss each and everything. Generally, it could apply to your the programs in which you want to apply, but there may be a slight change in the application process, but it would be really minor change. So I will tell you how can you figure out that minor changes, but generally the process is same. So first of all, I had divided it in 5 to 6 steps in the application process. So first of all, you should explore catalog. How you would explore it, we will discuss in the coming slides. Then once you have explored the catalog of Erasmus Mundus, you should gather information about your particular program. And once you have all the information, then you should start your application process. You should prepare your application process, the documents that are required for a particular program. And once you had done your you have made and prepared your all the documents, then you can review them from the alumni. This is completely an optional step, but this optional step is really really effective. And once if you had gone through this optional step, then final you should submit the application. And after the application submission, the most weighted thing is you should wait for the result. So, regarding the um, about exploring a catalog, what you should do is that you should go to the website of Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, and there you will get some in the when you go to the Erasmus Mundus catalog, you can get a screen like this. Here, I had taken this picture a couple of days ago. You can see that Erasmus Mundus catalog currently has 212 different programs. In maybe in a couple of weeks, some of the programs may add, and this number may change, depending on the situation. There may be some new programs it is the possibility that some new programs are added, and it is the possibility that some of the programs may be deleted out, because usually the European Union fund a particular program for 4 batches, and once the 4 batches are completed, then it's completely dependent upon the European Union or collaborating universities that they want to continue that program, or they want to be fund again or not. So this is entirely their task. So some of the programs there may be some new programs, and there may be the end of the some previous programs. So, and this is something that differentiate Erasmus from the other programs. What I mean from differentiate is that, if you are applying for some other scholarship other than Erasmus Mundus, usually you apply for a particular field. But in Erasmus Mundus, you don't apply for a particular field, but you apply for a particular program. For example, if I talk about Pakistan, and I take an example of myself, I want to do like, since I had done my bachelor's in physics, so obviously I will do my master's in physics. So if I want to apply in Pakistan, and I am applying for the masters and looking for different universities, then I will check, okay, masters in physics, and my degree would also be somewhat related to masters in physics. But this is not the case in Erasmus Mundus. When I was applying and I was checking the Erasmus Mundus catalog, I was filtering out, and wrote the word master in physics and searched the program. There was nothing, and I was thinking like, oh, seriously? There are no programs related to physics. How is it possible? Then I checked the whole catalog and realized that, okay, these fields are not generally described, but there are many programs that are related to the fields. So this is where the Erasmus is a bit different from other programs. And for this, since you are like more than 200 programs related to each and every field, so it is really difficult to go through each and every program. So what you can do is that you should use filtering options. You can search the programs by some keywords about your field, or you can for regarding the this country and universities. This is only for the case if you want to hit a particular country. Okay, if it's in your mind that I want to go to that particular country, so you can check that which programs, if you select the country, then the programs in which the any of the university of that country is contributing will appear on the screen. But the most important thing is that you should check the year of project selection. You should mention or select the year that you in which you are applying for. And here, field of study you can select, and with keywords you can filter out, so that you may not have to go through all these 212 programs to figure out which program you should apply for. So, and one thing is that don't focus only on the title. Just if you had filtered out something, and the title of some program is a bit related to your field, and you say, okay, I'm going to apply for this. This should not be the case. You should study. You should go to the website of that particular program and read each and everything about the program, about their requirements. And if some word title is like, uh, you say that, okay, this title seems to be related to my field, but I'm not that much interested in this domain. But still you should go and check check their curriculum, because in the description you may find something that is related to your field of interest. So when you search out these programs, or filter out in this Erasmus Mundus catalog, you will get the program title, along with the website, and on that website each and every information about that particular program will be available. Not You will not find the directly the detailed information about the program in exactly catalog. You had to go through the website that is present in this catalog of your particular program for which you are applying for. So this exploring of catalog is really important. You should filter out the programs you are applying for. You can have some Excel sheet or some Word document in which you can mention the programs you are applying for, the title of the program, or you can even save their website on that, so that each time you want to see something, you don't have to go through all this selection process again. You can directly go to their website. You can check. You should mention the opening date of the application. You should mention what is the deadline, what are the required documents, and what if there is something that they have particularly asked for. So you should have something. Some You should prepare some Word document or some Excel sheet with all these information, so that it can save your time. You don't need to go through all these filtering options again and again. And so once you have explored the catalog, you have filtered out the programs that are according to your interest or according to your field. Then read, and after reading all the descriptions of that particular program, next option is to gather information. How can you gather the information, and what information you should look for? You all would get the information from the specific website of the program, and this website will be given in Erasmus Mundus catalog, under the title of the program. So you should go to the website of the program. You should read in very detail about eligibility requirements, deadlines, and required information. Usually, there are different eligibility requirements for different programs. Every program's deadline is different from the other. The required information is different. Like, some may ask you specific questions to be answered in your motivation letter that we will discuss ahead. And some other may not ask you any particular question. It's totally up to you that how you design your motivation letter. So you should study in very detail and with very focus the information on the website of the program. And if you really want to apply, then you should plan very earlier, because the preparation of documents take time. So if you are planning to apply and the applications are yet not opened for that particular program, what you can do is that you can check the information on the website, and prepare the journal documents. You should start preparing the documents, and once the application is open, you can check if they had made some minor changes or not. And if they had made some minor changes, you can tailor the documents according to that. Usually the application period is from September to March. Some of the programs start their applications in September, and some other may start their applications in January as well. So this is really a general duration, that it starts from September to March. And this doesn't mean that every program will start its application in September and will go to March. No, some of the programs may start their application in September and they may end them in December, and some may start in January and end in March. So this is the general time duration. You should specifically check the time open. No, the time when applications are open and when they are closed for a particular program from the website. So this is usually from September, between September and March. All the programs of Erasmus Mundus had opened their applications, and they had reached to the deadlines. And in case if you had some really genuine problems or some concerns, then you should concern the program coordinator. Each program has a different coordinator, and their email and contact information are given on the website. I know a student who was applying for the program. Her deadline was really close, and she yet hadn't got her passport. So, and passport was required to be submitted along with the other documents. So, what she did was that she sent an email to the coordinator of that particular program, mentioning that she will get the passport like 3 to 4 days after the deadline. So, they asked her to send them right national identity card instead of passport, and once she has got her passport, she should email them. So if there is some genuine problem like this, you should contact the program coordinators. Their email address are given at the program website. And once you had gathered the required information, you know which program you will apply for, what are their requirements, what are their documents, what is their eligibility criteria, and if you are fulfilling that eligibility criteria, then you should start preparing your applications. The journal documents that are required in almost each and every program is a bachelor's degree and transcript, motivation letter, CV, recommendation letter. We will discuss in the coming slides about these, how to tailor these CV and motivation letter, English proficiency, nationality proof, and residence proof. Regarding the English proficiency, there are many of the programs that require English proficiency exams like IELTS and TOEFL, and there are many of the programs that don't require them. For them, English proficiency letter issued by your university works fine. So if some of the programs require IELTS or some other English language test, then it is particularly mentioned on their website, and their bands or scores are also mentioned. What bands are they require, or what should be the score. If nothing is mentioned on the website, then that means that they don't require a specific English language test, and for that, English proficiency letter issued by your university mentioning that mode of teaching during the bachelor's is English works fine for them. Regarding the nationality proof, you had to upload your passport. So if you are planning to apply for the scholarship and you yet don't have your passports, so you should apply for the passport and get the one. And regarding the residence proof, some of the programs may ask you to give them residence proof. And this is the letter you can easily get from your respective union council. In this letter, it is just mentioned your name, your father's name, and your passport number or national identity card, and mention that from which year uh, you are living where, in which tehsil, in which district. You can easily get it from the union council, and even some of the programs allow you to upload the some bill like electricity or gas bill. In my own case, I uploaded the electricity bill of my home, and that worked fine for me. Regarding this bachelor's degree and transcript, this usually some of the students confused with attested document and certified documents. So remember that for submission of your application or for applying for the scholarship, you just need the scanned copies of certified documents. Certified documents means that the original documents issued by your concerned institution, like for example, the degree or transcript issued by your university is certified. For applying for scholarship or submitting your application, you don't need attested copies. Attested copies from the from HEC or MOFA or IBCC, they are required only for the visa application. For uh, scholarship application, you just need certified documents, means the original documents that are given to you by your university. And regarding bachelor's transcript and degree, if your degree has not been complete yet and the deadline is close, for example, if you are in seventh semester, uh, and then what you can do is that you can upload the transcript, even that incomplete transcript indicating the results of the code of the semester you had already passed. And for the degree, you can ask your university to issue you a hope certificate mentioning that till that month of that year you will be able to pass the exam and got the degree. So this hope certificate and that so-called incomplete transcript would work fine if you had like deadline before having before the completion of your degree. I had seen many of the students that they didn't apply only because they thought that they had not their degrees are not attested, so they didn't apply. So keep in mind that attested degrees is not necessarily or are not compulsory to apply. You can apply without the attestation of degrees, but it should not be the case that you should not attest them. You should try attestation of your degrees as soon as possible, because it takes a lot of time, and usually from like September to April, May, there is a lot of rush in at IBCC and HEC, and you get appointments really, really late. So either you had to go for urgent attestation, which is really costly, so you should not delay it. But for the application process, you don't need a test. It's not compulsory to have the attested copies. So once these are the documents required, now we will see how we can tailor our CV, because there I had mentioned some of the sections that you should that must be present in your CV. And while preparing CV and motivation letter, the one thing that you should keep in your mind is that you should present them, you should design them in a way that they convince the person sitting abroad to consider you as a best candidate. If someone is sitting abroad, they don't know you. It's you who tell them that what you have done and what you are capable of, and how you would tell them through your CV and through your motivation letter, because they don't know you personally. So in the CV, the important section is the contact information. In the contact information, you should mention your email, uh, because the mode of communication is always through email. So this is really important. You can also give your phone number, but that is not that much necessary. And if you are on the LinkedIn, you can put LinkedIn ID as well. But the important thing is you should give the contact in contact information. You should mention your email and that you are currently using. And in the contact information, some of the students may put the address of their home, but our social media apps IDs like Facebook or Insta, there is no need of that. There is no need to put your home address, because no one is coming to Pakistan to meet you or to evaluate you, or no one will approach you via Insta or Facebook. So these are completely useless. Second thing, you should tell them your academic background, how what you have done, from where you have done, what was the duration of that, what were your what did you achieve, which courses did you study. You should study. You should tell them in detail about academic background. I will share. I will show you my CV that will give you an idea how you will mention this academic background. Then if you have done some research project, or you have done some final year project, or you have done some internship, online course, or whatsoever, you should mention them. You should tell them what you have done in that, what was the duration, and by which institute, under which institute you had completed it. Then usually everyone would have gone through some of the presentation during their bachelor's, so you can mention these as well. There are different ways of presenting your presentation, and the way I did, I will tell you in I will show you in my CV. And you can even check for different formats on the Google, and choose whatsoever you think that this is good. So and then you should mention if you had some certificates, some merit certificates, or some kind of awards, or any work experience. You should mention this, will give you a plus point and a positive impact of your profile, that a student is academically good. And if you had some experience of extracurricular activities, then you should mention again, it would be a plus point indicating that student is not only involved in academics but is also kind of professional, and uh, this extracurricular involved in extracurricular activities, so it is multi-talented person. So these could be the general sections about the CV. And regarding the description, I will say that you should express yourself again in a way that you should convince them why you are the best candidate. Regarding the format, some of the programs may require or may ask you to follow the Europass. And if they follow the Europass, then it would be mentioned on their website that the CV should be Europass format. And if it is not mentioned, then it's completely up to you if you use Europass or some other format according which you like. And last but the very important thing is that you should justify each and everything you are writing in your CV. What I mean by justification is that, for example, if you had mentioned some academic award, some academic certificate, then you should give them access to that certificate so that they can check if you have mentioned, if it is really correct or not. I will tell you how you can do that. And be consistent. By consistency, I mean that if you had started something like you had mentioned the degree name on the left and the year on the right, then throughout your CV you should follow this process, that the name would be on the left and year would be on the right. Font size and font style of headings throughout the CV must be the same. And if you are use some coloring, then that should be the consistent. This gives your CV a very nice and a beautiful look, which is very important. So here I will quit my screen to go to tell you to show you my CV. Uh, just note, please verify if I had my switching screen is appearing or not.
Yes, ma'am, it's appearing.
Okay, great, thank you. So here is my CV that I had used. First, I just wrote down the name, my degree, and the since I had done my program final year project in quantum computing. This is generally general field. So I had mentioned that. Then I email, my LinkedIn, and my contact. This is for justification. I had mentioned that to find more detail, please click this symbol in my curriculum vitae indicating extra information accompanying relevant section. So, what in the coming everything I had mentioned in the CV, I have justified that, and I had put a link for justification. For example, here I had put my education. I had followed this sequence, that I had mentioned the university name on the left, where it is situated on the right in italics. Then I mentioned what I had done, my GPA and these scores. For example, I was the gold medalist. then I should, they don't know, anyone can write it gold medalist. How would they know that if I am or not? So for this, what I did is that I put this link. When I click on that, it will it will take anyone having my CV to this document, mentioning that I had qualified for the medal. Because when I got graduated, the convocation was not held yet. So I simply went to the HOD of my department and asked him that my deadline is appearing soon, and I had to qualify for the medal. So you should give me some certificate that I can use as a justification. So they issued me and a hope certificate mentioning that I had qualified for that. So I put it that here I had mentioned the when I coursework. Now I had mentioned that okay, I have done bachelor's in physics. If I am saying this, that I have done bachelor's in physics to someone sitting in Pakistan, they do know that okay, during bachelor's in physics, what type of curriculum or what type of course is being covered. But if I am telling this to someone sitting abroad, they don't know that during the bachelor's in physics in Pakistan, what kind of curriculum, what kind of courses are being taught. They don't know you. So it is you who tell them that what you have done and how you have done. So here I what I did is that I mentioned the coursework, mentioning the courses name, their uh, uh, credit hours and each and everything, so they can check that what I have done during my bachelor's studies. And similarly, and one thing, because in the coursework only the number of the name of the courses were mentioned. So here what I have done is that I have mentioned the courses, and you can check that these links. For example, if I go to this nuclear physics, it will, this is the 58 pages long PDF. These are my lecture notes that I had made during the lectures. So I had put them there so that they can have the selection committee can have an idea that if in the course it's some course is mentioned like quantum mechanics 1 and 2, then what content I had covered in quantum mechanics 1 and 2 they can get through this. I made my CV in latex. You can easily get there is hyperref command. With that command you can use this, simply make the PDFs, upload them on the OneDrive, change the access permission access from to anyone, so that anyone with the link can have access to that document. Because these are just lecture notes or some like certificates, so there is no issue if someone else is appearing this will not change the like permission of your whole OneDrive. You just change the permission of that particular uh, uh, document. So mm, so that they can check. So this is something that I say that you should justify. Then I had some online courses. I mentioned those. Here I mentioned the name, and on the right side I mentioned who conducted it and what was the duration, and in some of the 4 to 5 lines I mentioned what did I had done in this course. And the thing that was really important, I have bolded it so that they may not need to read every detail. They can get have an idea with these bold letters. Then I had my I mentioned my final year project. Here had given access to my thesis. And since I had an opportunity to present my final year project in a career expo, so I mentioned it. You guys should also mention these kind of the things that you think that this would give a plus point to your profile. Because uh, if I had an experience of presenting my project at career expo, then the project obviously if other person says that okay, she has presented her project in career expo, so the first thought that comes in his or her mind is that okay, project was some kind of worth that it was presented in the expo. So these kind of the things you should mention if you have. Then I mentioned some other research that we had done during our bachelor's. And here are the presentations. I have followed this format. Like in January, I gone through the my defense. Final year project defense, so I mentioned it like this physics defense. Here I had put the slides of my defense, then the topic name, then the persons that presented. Since I did my project alone, so I was the only one. And the way you mentioned the name is that you mentioned second name full, then comma, and then first letter of your first name, and then dot. And this the way of presenting, you can easily get it these formats on the Google. And here you mentioned your supervisor's second name. Then I mentioned the work experience. Then leadership, like these are the extracurricular activities are that help me achieve leadership goals. Like I was class representative, somehow hosted a seminar. Here I had mentioned my awards or any kind of achievements that I had. And here the concerning institution that gave me. Here I had mentioned the all the volunteer work and what I had done and how it has impacted my personality. I briefly described in like 3 to 4 sentences, and these hobbies are entirely optional if you wanted to mention them or not. So and this kind of like I had the everything I have mentioned in the CV, I have justified them. I have give them access to the certificate or to the concerning document that plays a role for justification. And I have told them each and everything, that what I have done, how I have done under the supervision of whom I have done, so that the selection committee can have an idea that okay, if I have done the bachelor's in physics, then during bachelor's what I have done. So this is a really important thing, that how you present yourself and how you tell them that how you are the best candidate for a particular program. So this was all about CV. Now moving back towards the slides. Okay, Noor, please reconfirm if my slides are appearing again.
Yes, ma'am, your slides are appearing.
Okay, thank you. So, the CV motivation letter, these are really, really, really important documents, and they had a lot of weightage in your selection criteria. So, regarding the now we will discuss motivation letter. So first of all, you should check the website, if website of your particular program, that if they are asking you some particular questions to be addressed in motivation letter or not. For example, when I was applying in one of the program, it was mentioned on the website that I should mention that I want to spend which semester in which country and why. This was the requirement. And if there is some requirement, then you should answer those questions in motivation letter. But if there is no requirement, then it's totally up to you how you tailor your motivation letter. Usually motivation letter is 1 to 2 pages long. Some programs may limit you the words, but it would be rarely a case. And but try not to make it to the 2 pages long, because the selection committee, while during evaluation, will have hundred or thousands of applications, so it is really difficult for them to go through that much long letters. So try to make it precise of 1 page at least. And one thing, the other thing you should keep in mind during motivation letter is that you should not repeat the things that had already been done in your CV. So, for example, you don't need to mention my name is this, I am from Pakistan, I have done this from that university. There is no need to mention these kind of these things in your motivation letter because they are already present in your CV. So what you can do is that if there are particular questions to be asked in the motivation letter, you should answer them. And if they are not, then you can make 4 to 5 paragraphs. Like in first paragraphs, you should directly starting or a start line is really important, and it has really good or bad impact on the selection committees, so you should be very vigilant in the starting lines. So in first paragraph, in 2 to 3 lines, just tell them the reason why you are applying abroad, or what is the motivation behind your behind the your decision of going abroad for the studies. When I wrote my motivation letter, my starting line was something like this. My fervent passion for joining an international master program is the reason why I am applying for this program. Somewhat like this. So, in the first paragraph, you should tell them the reason or your motivation. Why are you applying for? In the second paragraph, just very briefly describe your bachelor's or your final year project and create a resemblance with the program's curriculum. You will find the information about the program curriculum on the website. You when you read that, you would get an idea that what they are demanding for. So you should create a resemblance with that. This is really important. You should create resemblance. It would give them an idea that if you have some of the knowledge or some of the background knowledge about their curriculum. In third paragraph, you tell them what is your current status, what you are doing currently now, and what are your future goals. And in the fourth paragraph, then you can tell them why you, what is your unique, what are your unique abilities, or what are your capabilities that they should select you, and if they select you, how this scholarship will benefit you. And in the last paragraph, these are just concludatory remarks or salutation, and you are all done. You can check some of the sample motivation letters, or you can go through some of the YouTube videos regarding motivation letter. You can get an idea about that. It's not really easy, like it's time consuming process to write to tailor your motivation letter. And one thing that I would emphasize is that don't ask chat gpt to write your motivation letter. You can take help from ChatGPT, but don't be completely relying on the ChatGPT. There are many students who just ask ChatGPT, then copy, paste, and submit the application. The selection committee can easily figure out if you had if the motivation letter is self-written or it's some AI based. AI generated based, and if it is AI, then it has really bad impact that if a person is not able to write the motivation by his or her, then how he or she will be able to pursue degree at the international level. And if he has not motivation of writing by own, then then it is like completely useless to give him her a scholarship. So you can take help from ChatGPT, but you should not simply copy and paste. Regarding the recommendation letters, this too is very important. You can take recommendation letter either from the university professor or from if you are doing some job or some internship at some other institute. You can take from the supervisor at that work. Usually, you don't need only one recommendation letter. 3 to 4 different recommendation letters are required, and there's a specific timing for that. Usually there are very few programs that ask you to upload the recommendation letter. Majority of the program will just ask you to give the contact information of your referee, his email and his name, and maybe the phone number. And then selection committee will send them an email and ask them to send your recommendation letter directly to the selection committee, and they give them like 3 to 4 days maybe. So if you are planning to apply for scholarship, you should talk to at least 3 to 4 different persons and ask them if they are willing to write a recommendation letter for you or not. And one thing that I considered uh, important is that you should take recommendation letter from the, for example, if you are taking recommendation letter from university professor, then try to take recommendation letter from the person who has taught you the course that is related to the field you are applying for. So it could have a good impact because he had evaluated you in the field you are applying for. And other thing is that you must take this fact into consideration that the person you are asking for, are you in good looks of him or her or not? Because in recommendation letter everyone is really loyal and honest, and if you are somehow in not good looks, good books of the some of your referee, then and if he or she has written something not good in your recommendation letter, then it would have a negative impact. So take this fact into consideration. Okay, so if you have prepared your CV, your motivation letter, uh, you had done ask or requested your referees and they are okay and you have prepared all the documents, then this is the optional step that you should review them. Documents, you should send documents to alumni for review. Though this is optional, but it is really important, and it could be very helpful in your selection. From WOM, you can review your documents, you can reach out to the alumni of that particular program, and this is the best way to reach the program you are applying for. You should check the alumni. Usually the previous students information is given on the website, and if it is not, you can check them on the LinkedIn or social media apps uh, with some words related to field. Search them and they would appear, or teachers or some other students that has some international exposure. And you should join social media groups related to your field, related to the scholarship you are applying for. And the one thing you should consider is that you should have enough time to send the documents to the reviewer, and you should give him or her a time to get back to you, because usually at abroad everyone has to do each and everything by own, so students are usually free at the weekends. So you should prepare documents earlier so that you have enough time to let the reviewer uh, be at his or her ease, and when they get back to you and propose to some changes, then you should have some time to make changes if you think that they are worth. So this is the thing. And yes, you should join social media groups. You should be in contact with the alumni of that particular program. And regarding Erasmus Mundus scholarship, I would emphasizely ask you guys to join Erasmus Mundus Association group on Facebook. That group is really good, and if you go in the guide section of that Facebook group, you will find different documents and different posts pinned, and you will get all necessary information there. They had made alumni of and admins of that group had made really detailed post about each and every step of the process, and that group also runs a cycle of these documents review. They post on their Facebook group when they are starting, and they had some rules, you can check that. And in that group almost every person, every Erasmus Mundus scholar is present, so it is that group is really a good source of connection with the alumni. So once you have uh, if you have documents are ready and you have reviewed them, then final step is to submit the application. You should follow the instructions on the website, carefully fill the form. You should not do some mistake. Attach all the documents that are mentioned on the website and submit before the deadline. Like if you conceive, if you are thinking that okay, I if I will submit a hour late or 2 hours late or one day late, and I will request them to consider my this will not be the case. You should submit before the deadline. The deadlines will not be extended, and the application process application submitted after deadline will not be entertained for the scholarship. And the most awaited thing, that is wait for the result. There is no specific timing that which program get back to you at which time. Usually they the announcement of result is different, so they will get back to you about either selection or not through email. So you should regularly check your emails. And there are some of the programs that may call the shortlisted students for interview. If this is the case, then it would be mentioned on the website clearly that shortlisted students will be called for interview and what type of interview it will be. There you can get information on the um, that website. You can have insights about the interview from the alumni. And if you are applying for the programs that do call interview, then right after the submission of your application, you should start preparing your for the interview instead of waiting for the result. So you can get the information about the interview on the website of the mentioned program. Then, okay, if the results are announced and luckily you are the one who has been awarded the scholarship, then the question is what would be the next step? You had submitted the application, you have achieved the scholarship, then what next? Then is the you should start your visa processing. They will give you like documents, admission documents, scholarship documents, and other required things via email. You will get like before with the like in those 3 to 4 months before the starting of the class, you will give exchange thousands of emails. So just start your visa application process, and for this visa processing the attested documents are required. So you and this attestation takes time, so you should start it earlier. And visa processing varies from embassy to embassy. You can easily get information about the particular embassy on the website. And usually the coordinators do also guide you how you will do. And regularly check emails and keep yourself updated. There are you will see in that group that I mentioned about Erasmus Mundus Association in Pakistan. Now, once the results are being declaring and embassies have started the visa processing has started, there would be a regular post. Seniors would be guiding you. Uh, Usually, the seniors or alumni of those groups have a particular WhatsApp groups that you can join, and they guide you. So, visa processing is not that much difficult and not that much easy. All you need is to just prepare your documents, and you get the list of the documents from the website very easily. But one thing is that you require the attested documents, attested degrees. And regarding generally why the Erasmus Mundus is that much famous, and what are the benefits and perks of being Erasmus Mundus scholar? First and the most worth benefit is that financial support. You get a stipend amount of 1400 euros per month. That is really, really good stipend amount. You can the all academic cost is covered by the program. With this 1400 euros, all you have to do is to just pay for your accommodation and your personal expense. Nothing else you have to do by your own. And this 1400 euros per month is more than enough to live a luxurious life and save at the end of the month as well. Second is the academic excellence. You get your degree at well-known universities. You get your degrees at international level. Uh, in your class, everyone is Erasmus scholar. Everyone would be if you are Erasmus scholar, then everyone would have a really good profile. Then they had been awarded the Erasmus scholarship. So academically, it's the class is really worth. Then culture immersion, you meet different people from different cultures, from different nationalities, and it's something really good. And you professional, you get a lot of professional and personal growth. You go to different countries, you adopt you share different culture, you adopt different things. Like regarding the personal growth, you learn each and everything because you had to do each and everything by your own. And here I will mention, uh, for particularly for boys, if you are applying for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship and you think that your profile is good enough that you will be awarded, then you should start learning how to cook by yourself if you don't know the cooking. Because here, after coming here, you had to cook by yourself, you had to do laundry by yourself, you had to clean your room by yourself, everything you had to do by yourself. And it's really fun moment, and you learn a lot from this. And for the girls, I will say, start learning how to do groceries if you don't know how to do groceries. So this is something really good about personal growth and about professional growth. So, the very general tips that I want to give you guys is that be consistent and serious. You should be consistent. You should check the deadlines daily. You should prepare your documents very early, and don't completely rely on the chat GPT. Take help from chat GPT, but don't simply copy and paste. As I mentioned at the start, prepare Excel sheet and mention each and everything about deadline and documents. And for regarding the CV and motivation letter, uh, make the journal drafts for the very first time, and then prepare and then make uh, changes if required. For example, you have made a journal motivation letter, and if some particular program is asking you to answer that question, that particular question, you should then I had to make a minor changes in motivation letter. Some of the program may ask you to upload a 2 pages CV, so you had to minimize the description to get it towards 2 pages. Then the most important thing is that take suggestions from the senior, take their advices, but not directly ask them to share the documents. This is something really not good. When we receive messages directly, can you please share your CV, can you please share your motivation letter? If this is the case, this shows that someone is not that much serious, because everyone would have a different motivation, everyone would have a different CV. So you can take the suggestions, but not ask them directly to share all the documents, because they will not give you any kind of advantage, because everyone has different motivation. If you are sending your documents for review, then send complete documents, and they should be well written. Like, it should not be the case that you had first write some motivation letter, and instead of going through proofreading it by yourself, are sending it to someone else, to the alumni, or to some other person, asking him to filter out the mistakes. It should be you doing. And once you consider that you had done everything that you can do by yourself, then prepare, then send those documents to the for the review. And while coordinating, be disciplined, because I do had an experience of something like, if someone is sending the documents and right after 2 to 3 hours they are calling you on the WhatsApp, I had sent you the document but you have not answered me yet. Consider the fact that there is the difference of the timing between Pakistan and the other countries. So it could be the case that when it's your lunch time in some other country, it would be Fajr time. So you should had some like give 2 to 3 days to the person you had sent your documents to get them review. And most like for example, right now I think in Pakistan it would be like 8 p.m., but here in France it's 4 p.m. right now. So there is a difference of the timing. And most important thing is that you should be mentally prepared for every outcome. Regarding Erasmus Mundus, will take 2 or 3 students from of the same nationality in each program. So you should be mentally prepared. Erasmus is not the end. If you get Erasmus, it is good. But if you don't get the Erasmus, that is not the end of the life. You should apply for other program, for other scholarships as well, and be mentally prepared for each and every kind of outcome. So, in short, I will say that this Erasmus Mundus scholarship, if you got it, if you are lucky enough, then it's really a life-changing opportunity, both in terms of academics and in terms of your personal growth. So, I will say, I will ask you to gear up and start getting your documents ready right now, because if I can achieve this, so you can. You are also capable of doing so. So just right after the session, visit the Erasmus Mundus catalog, check, filter out the programs, prepare a very strong application. After drafting all your documents, connect with the alumni, and if you had any other questions, or then you need any help, then feel free to reach out to me with your questions at the email address provided. So, and also give me some time, because I usually get free at the weekends. You guys will be amazed to know that during MS first semester I am having 14 courses. In Pakistan, in MS, we are having like, we used to have 3 to 4 courses, and I am having 14 courses. So you can think of my situation. So if you have any queries, then just feel free to reach out to me at the given email address. I will try my best to help you as much as I can. Okay, so this was all from my side. Thank you very much. I know it was a really, really long, and I had talked a lot, but I hope this would be a bit helpful for you. Now, if you have any questions, then feel free.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I would like to notify the participants that Google Form link has been shared in chat box. You can fill in for certification. The question answer session is about to begin. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand or type them in chat. We will unmute participants one by one, and you can ask your question when it's your turn.
Maria, you can ask your question now.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
I am currently doing BS English, and I want to ask for the English which university you think is better to do MS.
Sorry, there was. Could you please repeat your question?
Yeah, sure. I am saying that I am currently pursuing my bachelor's in English from Pakistan, and I want to apply abroad for master's in English. So, what do you think? Which university is better for masters?
Okay, so as I mentioned regarding the Erasmus Mundus, there is not a single university. What you can do is that you should check the catalog, what programs are related to the field of English, and as many programs you found related, you should apply for each and every, and for all those programs. And if you get selected in more than one, then you can check the universities and their ranking, and then take the decision that which universities are highly ranked and which program you should go for. There is not a
Okay.
single university that will from which you will get your degree. There are 3 to 4 universities in different countries. So
Okay. What do you think? What should be the minimum GPA for applying and for being selected?
okay, so this varies from program to program. Every program has different requirements. Many of the program don't ask like they don't put limitation that this CGPA or a CGPA above this can apply. So everyone can apply. Then selection committee evaluates the application process not only on the base of CGPA, but they consider different facts like your CV, your motivation letter, your recommendation letters, and other documents. So it's not only CGPA based, and particularly clear cut CGPA is not a requirement of any program. So, but if you had a good CGPA, then there are more chances of getting selection. And if you have your CGPA is low, then you can compensate that CGPA with some internships or with some research or publication or something like that.
I thought, okay, the next question is that we are all give presentations in university, but you have mentioned in your CV that all the presentation that you have presented, but the presentation that we present, that we don't have any proof of those presentation, like we do same in each semester almost, but how to mention those presentations and what's the proof of that presentation, what that we have done in our university semesters?
Okay, if you don't have the slides, you don't save them. That this is not something compulsory to be done, but this is something that will create your documents, that will make your documents unique from the others. And if you have not, then that's not the major issue. And if you want to make your a profile very unique, then what you can do is that spend some time, prepare slides again, and put them.
It means we can take slides as a proof of our presentations.
Yeah, yeah. And like for example, if you have done some, you have given a presentation and you just mentioned that I had given that presentation. The person living sitting abroad don't know. Okay, he knows the topic, but he don't know the which content you have covered in your topic, right? So
Okay.
if you had attached the slides and he goes through them, then he can have an idea, okay, till this depth this student has gone in this presentation. And again, this is something like majority of the students wanna do that. So it just sort of the uniqueness of your profile, and the selection committee will have an idea or impact that okay, this student has done that much time in preparing documents, she has justified each and everything. So it means that she is very serious, she is very motivated, so it could be a very plus point for you.
Okay, I got it. Thank you for the time.
Okay.
Arisha Gul, you can ask your question by unmuting.
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. My
Walaikum
question is
assalam.
this. My question is this that is Erasmus Mundus only for masters? Like if we are currently pursuing our masters in Pakistan, then can we apply again for another master in Erasmus Mundus as it is highly valuable in abroad? Like is can it be the case?
Yes, first thing is Erasmus Mundus is only for the masters, and if you are already having masters, already doing masters in Pakistan, you can apply. And even there are many students who had completed their masters and they are doing another masters with Erasmus. And if this is the case, then they are even MPhil students are again doing masters. So if you are doing masters in Pakistan, you can apply. This will not impact your selection criteria. In fact, maybe it could have positive impact in a sense that you had a more knowledge and in-depth knowledge about the field than the one who is doing the bachelor's, so you can apply.
Okay, ma'am. And if we have like CGPA of 3.6 or 3.65, but we have no publications at all, like we don't have any research experience, then can there be more chances of shortlisted, getting shortlisted in terms of our internship experiences or in terms of our social activities? Like, can they compensate for publications?
Yes, surely, because publication is not the requirement. Publication could be a plus point, but it is not the requirement. And usually, bachelor students don't have the publication. Even myself, I don't have any publication. So, publication is not requirement. You can, if you have a good CGPA and you had some extracurricular activities or some internships, then it's really good.
Okay, ma'am, then those internships which are not related to our degree, like I'm a
Okay.
student of BS Biomedical Engineering, seventh semester. So if my internship is related to biomedical engineering, I have many, but I have also those internships which are completely irrelevant to my field. So should I mention those also in my CV that I have also done those internships which are not relevant to my field?
Yeah, it's totally up to you. If you want to mention, you can. And in description, you can take them in a way that they had helped you in your personal growth, in communication, in teamwork. Because here you will be dealing with the international students from with different nationalities, so you could mention those internships that are not related to field, and in a sense that they had give you your personality or your helped you in your growth and teamwork and something like that. You can mention them
Okay,
as
ma'am.
an
Actually,
extracurricular.
I'm applying on the basis of my hope certificate as I'm in seventh semester and I'm highly passionate to do that. And I have taken many sessions that how to apply, but nowhere have I seen this that in our CV we have to like provide a proof, like you said that to provide a proof you put an exclamation mark and you have to click and you get all the proof. So can you please elaborate the process that how can we link our documents with CV? Like I don't know the process that how can you provide the proof within your CV? Can there be any steps or
Okay, so usually students don't do this, they don't provide the documents, but I did that because I wanted my documents to be different from the other. I wanted my documents to be unique, so I did this. And how I did this is that I make the PDFs of that. I uploaded them on the OneDrive folder, then I change the access. Usually on OneDrive folder, you only the person. If you are uploading something on OneDrive, only you are the one who can access them. So you can easily go to the setting of that particular program and change the permissions from me to anyone. If you change the permission, then anyone with the link can can go through that document. Then I made my CV on the overleaf, and there is some command. I think it was something like hyperref. You can ask ChatGPT is really good in this sense. You can ask ChatGPT that how can I embed links in my CV, so he will give you the command, and I use that command. I embed that link, and when I compile, I got that dagger symbol. You can I'm not sure if this thing is available in Word, but I think it is. You can check it on the YouTube, but it's not really a difficult thing to do, but it's a bit time consuming that you had to make the PDFs, then upload, then change the access. So it's a bit time consuming, but it's not difficult. You can easily do it.
Or, ma'am, can we do it with our Europass CV, as Europass CV is most recommended? So can we embed those links in Europass format as well?
Yes, you can embed these links in any of the format you want to.
And ma'am, Coursera courses certificates, there are many certificates offered by Ellison, Coursera, edX, Udemy. So can we also count them as a plus point? Like, can we also link those certificates in our CV?
Yes, yes, sure. If you had done some of the courses from Coursera, then you should add them.
And ma'am, let's suppose that we are not linking any, or we are not embedding anything like this in our CV, but still we are claiming it. So at the end of our selection, will we be asked for proof, or they will just believe that, okay?
Okay, as far as I had experience and I know the students, this was not the case that they had asked anyone to give the proof, as far as I know.
But they will psychologically, like in interview, they will judge that is this person lying or is this truthful, right?
Yes, yeah. If there is, there are many programs that don't call, that don't conduct interview. But if there are some programs that conduct interview, then definitely they can ask you to justify what you have written in your CV.
Okay, ma'am. And like this is, if we are applying for MBOME, like in biomedical engineering in Erasmus Mundus, then that's deadline is near 10 January or 11 January, like that is going to be close. And if we are starting to get apply from now, so is it possible to prepare all the things like motivation letter, CV, everything within 10 days or within 5 days? Like, is it a time consuming process, or it can be done promptly also?
Okay, so it's totally up to you how much time you are giving them. You can prepare your documents in a short duration of time, but you have to spend like more time each day.
Okay, ma'am, and I have a last question that if we have no experience of applying in any scholarship, like if we want to make our motivation letter, so can you share any sample, or can you share any link or website that from where we should learn that how to prepare our motivation letter for getting shortlisted or for getting uniquely selected? Like if we
Um,
have no.
okay, I don't have any links right now, but what I can suggest you is that go through 3 to 4 YouTube videos and note out the points what they are asking to write the motivation, how to write the motivation letter. Here like I had told you, like you can tailor your motivation letter in 5 paragraphs, and I had told you what you should discuss in paragraph. You can ask chat gpt to give you a sample motivation letters to just have an idea how to write it. If you are on the LinkedIn, maybe many of the people had given their motivation letter. You can check them, so it would work good.
And
But right now, I don't
yes,
have
ma'am.
like any particular website that I should recommend to check that.
Okay, ma'am. And if we are getting shortlisted, then our interview will be online through Zoom meeting or through Teams, or will we have to have an
Yeah,
in-person
yeah,
interview with any?
it would be online. And they
Okay.
would tell you all the details about the interview, about the platform venue. Your coordinator will tell you each and every detail.
And you also said this in your presentation that it will cover all our financial expenses. But at the start moment, like when we are going, when we are boarding, then at that time we have to do everything by our own, right? And later on,
Yes,
they
yes.
so
Till
can you please
okay, till reaching to your host country, your first country, you had to do expense by your own, like your shopping or your ticket or some. Uh, Usually, the accommodation payment is in advance that you have to do from Pakistan, and for then when you come to Europe, you open a bank account, then you give the information to the coordinator, and it takes like 1 to 2 weeks in processing, and then your stipend amount of first month comes. So usually at the end of the first month you get the first stipend amount, and then for the following months you get it during the first week of the month. So you had to do expense by yourself till the end of the first month, but in 1 to 2 months you can easily cover that expense with the scholarship amount.
so ma'am, can you please provide a rough expense, like a rough estimate that how much should we have at the time that we want to go?
Okay, so it would vary from a country to country. Some of the countries have low rent, some of the countries have high rent, but generally it may cost you like 7 to 8 lakhs. Maybe I am telling you the maximum amount, but keep in mind that 1400 euros are equivalent to 4 to 4.5 lakhs, so you can easily cover it up within 2 to 3 months. So for those if there are some students that are like that don't belong to a family which is financially that much rich, and you got accepted into the scholarship, what I will say you guys is that just you can take a loan from someone, because and don't miss the opportunity. You can easily uh, recover that amount within 2 to 3 months. And a good thing about Erasmus Mundus is that there is no application fee, so everyone can apply. You don't need to pay fees to apply, and if you got selected, obviously there would be some expense, like I am telling you the maximum you should keep in mind about 7 to 8 lakhs, but it would be covered in 2 to 3 months.
And ma'am, you said that after shortlisting we should prepare for attestation. So is that attestation only from MOFA and HEC, or it should also be from IBCC also, like from three places?
Okay, so I will suggest you to not go for attestation after the selection, because attestation requires time, and you should, if you are applying for, then you should start attesting your degrees right now. And regarding the attestation, you have to attest your degrees, your metric and your metric and intermediate degree first from the board, your respective board. Then you take both of those degrees to IBCC. Then you have got you attest them from IBCC. Once your metric and intermediate degrees are attested from board and IBCC, then HEC will attest your bachelor's degree and transcript. And once HEC has attested your bachelor's degree and transcript, then you attest all these three degrees and transcript from MOFA.
Okay, ma'am, thank you so much for your time. But I have one more query. That is passport, is having passport mandatory for getting applied, for applying in it? Like we have to also provide the proof of our passport in the
Okay,
time of
it
application.
depends. Okay, it depends on the program. Some of the program may ask you to upload the passport and some may not, so you can check it on the particular program website.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Atya, you can ask your question by unmuting.
For the opportunity to speak, and thank you so much, ma'am, for your explanation. It was so amazing. I have attended different session, but I was still confused. Thank you so much for clearing the confusion. One question is that I have wrote my thesis, but it's not yet published. So how I can add that in my CV?
Sorry, I didn't get it. You had wrote your thesis and not
Yes,
published. Could you
yes,
elaborate?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have wrote my thesis in my bachelor's, but not yet
Okay.
published.
Publication is not a mandatory thing. Publication means, by publication, I mean to say is that if you have published some research paper, right? So if you have done your thesis, you would have a soft copy of that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You can give access to that soft copy of the thesis, and where you are in the CV where you are explaining your final year project. Obviously you will would mention that you had prepared a comprehensive report as undergraduate thesis, and there you can embed a link for that thesis that you had write and take print out and given to the university. By publication, I mean research publication or research paper, which usually bachelor students don't have. So that is not the requirement. Publication
Yeah,
is not
thank you
the
so much.
requirement.
Thank you so much. One more question is that how many certificates we have to add in the certification?
Okay, as many as you have.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bisma Tariq, you can ask your question by unmuting.
Assalamu alaikum. Actually, I want to ask you questions. Is this program is eligible for undergraduate student?
No, Erasmus Mundus is only for the master's degree.
Arisha Gul, do you have any other question?
Yes, I have one more question. That is, if we have no research paper, but we have narrative review or we have systematic review or meta-analysis, like such type of publication in which we have review, but we don't have any research. So can we also add that, or can also that be a plus point in our selection, or that
Uh,
counts little?
Okay, yes, you can add that. You can mention that you had an experience of reviewing article, and with this you gained enough skills or idea about writing and reading the scientific journals. You can add them in that sense.
Okay, thank you.
Maliha Kalsum, you can ask your question.
ओके मैम, मुझे ये पूछना था कि इधर का बैचलर, इधर हम जब बीएस करते हैं तो वो इक्वल टू मास्टर्स होता है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे मास्टर्स एमएससी खत्म हो गई है, तो वहाँ पे वो मतलब इस बैचलर करने के बाद वहाँ पे दोबारा से हम मास्टर्स करते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ का बीएस तो इक्वल टू मास्टर होता है.
Okay, this master's is equivalent to MS in Pakistan.
ओके ओके, थैंक यू.
If anyone has any question, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we will conclude the meeting.
Do we have any questions in the chat box?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
In closing, I'd like to extend our deepest gratitude to our speaker for sharing her wealth of knowledge and valuable insight with us today. We are truly grateful for guidance that you've provided regarding the scholarship. Thank you for taking out time for us out of your busy schedule. I am also thankful to societies involved in conducting today's webinar. With heartful gratitude, we draw the curtains on today's enlightening session. We eagerly anticipate the pleasure of your company in future. Until we meet again, may you remain safe and well. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, guys, good luck.